Nice. Well, we're going to keep it rolling, folks. Give it up now for Mr. Ian Ambergy.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Today's Father's Day. Got some good gifts, but I have to tell you, the best gift I've ever gotten for Father's Day was a vasectomy. My wife and I were looking for a carpenter recently, and where I live, everybody is religious. So they all said, you know who the most famous carpenter of all time is? And, when you look for a carpenter, you look for an example of something they built, or, word of mouth saying that they built something badass up the street that you want. I've never heard of anything Jesus built. I've never heard about a front porch that he built for one of his apostles. I've never heard anyone talking about a conversation they overheard where someone was like, "Oh, did you see my new sunroom?" Said, "Oh, yeah, who built it?" "Jesus, honey, and you should have seen him in his sandals." Okay, no carpenter that I know would ever use his magic to turn water into wine. Now, if he turned it into chocolate milk or Bud Light, I might believe he was a carpenter. You can't be a carpenter with your toes out and shit. That's just asking for problems. And you would think his dad's God. He was giving out all the high profile jobs back then. You couldn't throw him even one. The biggest carpentry job in the whole Bible was done by a 500-year-old alcoholic. and he built the Titanic out of logs, and he didn't have Amazon, he didn't have YouTube, he didn't have a build an art kit he bought off eBay. At the age of 500, with only the help of his two 100-year-old sons, he built the biggest carpentry project of all time. That's amazing. But not as amazing as the fact that he was still getting busy at 400 years old to have two sons. The only project I can think of that Jesus built, I'm pretty sure he didn't want no part of building. Maybe he throw his opinion in, he'd be like, "Hey, man, you aren't supposed to use those 6-inch nails." He's like, "I know, man." He's like, hey, you're supposed to start on that end. Your board isn't flush. He's like, "I know." He's like, "Listen, that cross isn't square. It's not going to stand up right." He's like, "Jesus Christ, if you don't shut the fuck up." And then the rest is history. Now we got Christmas and Easter eggs. Taking this class was awesome. And I wanted to end with a couple of one-liners I wrote on the last day of class, just because I thought they were worth sharing. I used to work in healthcare, and I knew sleeping with my patients would get me into trouble, but I never thought they would cost me my veterinary license. As a comedian, you want your material to be smooth. You want it to be good. You don't want to embarrass yourself. So you got to practice for your big moment. It's kind of like the girlfriend I had in high school that saved herself until marriage, but she'd still let me put it in her butt.